Starting to settle in.
Uh,
Yeah, it sucks.
yeah, it's obviously not what we wanted. Obviously, you know, it's cool to be here. It's cool to get the feel, but it's just like you said, bittersweet because you're not, we're not making that walk come Saturday.
And I guess for Calvin first, you kind of maybe had an idea that you weren't going to be on this card because of your injury. So was it a bummer? You wait a few years and then it kind of finally comes out and you're dealing with what you're dealing with?
Exactly. I was trying to trick myself in thinking that there was a chance just to kind of jumpstart things for myself because eventually I'll be getting back sooner than later. So just holding on to the idea that maybe there's a chance I would be on the card, and that's kind of kept me motivated along with getting ready with Rob for his fight. So, wheels are moving on my end, just a little too soon for me.
And for Rob, I think you had maybe even the harder decision, right? Because you were on this card and you made the choice to step up and fight a few weeks ago. So how difficult in terms of not fighting in this building? Like, was that a factor, or was it just kind of you had to put that aside and think about what the goal was?
No, it definitely was hard to kind of obviously, make the decision not to fight in this building. In a perfect world, we'd have made the fight happen here, but obviously they needed a main event, so we couldn't. Yeah, and then obviously coming off a loss is even worse. It's kind of like I lost my fight in the Garden, and I went out there and I lost. So it's one of those like I feel like I want to go to the gym right now instead of being here. But it's one of those like you just kind of enjoy it too. It's always cool to be out here around the UFC, around you guys, around the energy, around the hotel, and just feeling it. And yeah, it was definitely tough not to make the decision not to fight in Boston.
And I know you had an Instagram post kind of brief after the loss, but we haven't really got to hear from you kind of what you think went wrong, I guess your assessment of the fight, and kind of where things stand now.
Yeah, man, it was like almost I forgot how to wrestle. It was annoying. It was one of those like I don't want to say I wasn't. I was expecting to strike a little bit more. Obviously, it didn't go that way. And hats off to him. He played it smart. It's just one of those things that I just got to get to the room, get back to wrestling, and so I felt better. I felt better in fights before. This one, just triggers weren't there. Like it just wasn't coming off. And then you add in 5 rounds, and then it's crazy how 5 rounds feel like it goes by so quick when you're losing. So it's just annoying. It's one of those things that like I had a huge opportunity, and in a perfect world, I would have been here on a W, looking to get that title shot, but it didn't work out. And obviously grateful for the opportunity. It just kind of felt like I fumbled it.
Calvin, over here. How you guys doing? So when your injury first started, it seemed like the early projections was maybe early next year, but it seems like things are moving a little bit quicker. I even saw that you took a trip out to Colombia. Can you talk about where the recovery process is now, and do you think you'll be able to get back in there this year?
It's definitely a possibility. I'm feeling great. I'd say I'm able to train fully at this point, so just trying to train smart, ease back in, and just be ready for something. Hopefully by the end of the year. I feel like that's a possibility for sure.
What was the Colombia trip like? What kind of procedures did you get? Was it just like stem cells, and how much better do you feel now?
Yes, I got stem cells. Shout out to BioAccelerator for setting the whole thing up, and it was a great opportunity for me to go out there and get. I got them in my wrist, my knee, my back, wherever I could get them, and yeah, wherever. So it was good, man. And right now, some of that process takes a while to feel the benefits completely. So it's not like I'm magically all better now, but I'm on the road to recovery with it, and it's like a lifestyle process. They want you to eat healthy, continue with rehab, things like that. So I expect to kind of feel the benefits from those treatments over the course of the next year and things like that. So, yeah, I feel great right now. It's good to be back just moving with the guys at 100% and eyeing something. Hopefully by the end of the year is definitely a realistic possibility.
And for Rob, do you feel like, especially after this week, you're going to get the itch to just get right back in there as soon as possible? Do we feel like we'll see you sooner rather than later?
Man, ideally, I would like to jump on a car with Calvin, kind of peak at the same time, kind of get that feel again. My emotional side is like, let me get back there as soon as possible. But I know I need to tighten up a couple of things. I need to really lock it in, and really just get my triggers back. Get like obviously it was technically a short notice fight, but it wasn't that short. As far as I was getting ready for this one, and it shouldn't be that easy to kind of like take me down. It shouldn't be that. And he made it look pretty easy. And again, I felt better before, so it's kind of like just getting back to the basics, locking it in, and being prepared for everything. Like I really thought I was gonna go out there and it's gonna be a striking match, and he surprised the shit out of me. It was like, oh, all right, we're wrestling, and then I didn't think it was gonna be that strong, that technical. It felt like it just felt like it just wasn't my night. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to rush it, but also I don't want to sit around too long either. But in a perfect world, I'm on the same card as Calvin.
Did you feel extra pressure having to switch things up? Because, I mean, fighting in Boston, there's obviously a pressure but an excitement. You're fighting Song Yudong, who is on the rise, and then you switch up to this main event against a guy who's right in the mix for the title,
Yeah.
and especially with what's going to happen this weekend.
Yeah.
We're either going to have a brand new champion in Sean O'Malley, or we're going to have a new champion crowned later on if Aljo moves up to 145. So did you feel like some extra pressure knowing that, hey, if I win this fight, like I could find myself in a title fight next?
I don't want to say extra pressure. I just knew how big the opportunity was. It probably would have been more pressure fighting here, honestly. Fighting at home probably it feels a lot more. Because technically in that fight I had nothing to lose. So I didn't. I knew it was a big task, main event, 2 extra rounds. We lost 2 weeks. So I know it was a lot, but I don't think I felt that pressure like if you do like when you fighting at home. Like fighting at home definitely feels a little differently. Like you got the whole crowd and everybody in there automatically assumes you're gonna win anyway, just because you're their guy or whatever. So I think I would have felt a lot more pressure fighting at home. But it's just an opportunity like to fight Corey main event. It was a no-brainer. I had to say yes.
And who do you think is going to win the main event between Sterling and O'Malley?
Man, I think O'Malley can get him out of there about at least second round. I can see it happening, but I think I'm going with the champ on this one.
And then, Calvin, one last thing for you, because Aljamain Sterling and Sean are fighting, and if Aljo wins, he's talked about moving up to 145 to make room for Merab to get his opportunity. How do you think Aljo would fare at 145 if he's successful, and maybe a potential fight with Volkanovski, like right out the gate?
I feel like top 5 in any weight class could do well, with the field in the higher weight class, but in the top 5 of a higher weight class, it's always a little different. So, I mean, he does cut a lot of weight, so I'm sure he'll fill out probably well. And then you think of guys like Frank Yeager back in the day as a 155-pound champ. It's kind of crazy to think about. So, I don't know. I guess you have to just see. I don't think it's too crazy to assume. He's cutting a lot of weight. He's probably growing out of it, sick of doing it. I'm sure you'll see like a recharged Aljo at 45 should you decide to do that.
And who wins the main event on Saturday?
Honestly, the wind's out of my sails on a couple weeks ago. In my mind, man, I like Rob against everybody, but we just gotta let time work itself out. And I don't really give a shit, honestly. To be fair, I never really do. But that it's nothing personal against either guy. I just care more about my team and what they're doing when their next fights are. Good luck to both guys. It's a great fight for the fans. It's a fun one for Boston. But personally, I don't got any stock in the card myself because none of my guys are on it. So it's nothing personal.
Who do you think they give him for? Like, if he moves the first to 45, who do you think they give him for his first fight?
It's a great
Like, you
question.
can't just go straight to the champ. Like what do you like?
I mean, I think they probably will do that, but I think we'll probably give Volkanovski to Poirier first, and then he could probably get the winner. But I feel like he's going to get a title fight.
Depends on Volk.
Right?
If Volkanovski wants it, they'd give it to him.
That's a great point,
That makes
too.
sense.
The bigger goat.
For Kid here, what have you made of Ilia Topuria since your last fought? He's probably been the guy that's kind of made the most noise in the division out of all contenders. Just curious, what have you made of his rise, and do you think he's got a shot against Volkanovski?
I don't like to count anybody out, man. He's looked real sharp in his last fight against Emmett specifically. Prior to that, he's looked solid. I like his style. He's a striker. Threw some kicks his last fight, which is cool, but he's primarily hands like myself. And I like to see that style. It's an aggressive style and fun to watch.
because of your style as well, is that a fight that maybe down the line you would like to have, just because it lends itself, at least for the fans, like a very exciting fight, right?
I mean, I don't honestly pick fights, and it's very rarely that I care who's across from me. I don't focus on it's not my focus. I'm just here to fight the best guys in the world, and whoever's in my way on the way to a title and changing my life, so be it. Like, I don't really, I know it's not the sexy answer, but I don't really care who's across from me, man. I'm just trying to get that gold belt and change my life. I don't give a fuck who's across from me.
And the bioaccelerator thing is in Medellin, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How was your experience in Colombia? First time?
Yeah, it was great. Everyone hypes it up like it's, these other countries are so dangerous, but it was very enjoyable. I had a great time. Was able to see some things out there post-treatment, is like the mountains and things like that. It was really enjoyable. I love to go back, and had a great time.
Yeah. Any highlight besides the stem cells? Any highlight of the trip?
I mean, we went out and went deep into the mountains, saw like we had this like private spot where there was a pool, got to hike. That was about it, man. Really just got to see some of nature out there in Medellin. And actually we rode a horse for a little bit, kind of half horse, half donkey. Pretty funny. Almost lost my manager for a sec. And but we all made it back, thankfully. And yeah, it was a cool experience, but like I said, it was a lot of treatments, so it was tough for me to really get out there. The people that I was with, it's kind of like a fight week. We don't really get to take in so much of the fun that the new state or place has to offer, but everybody that we're with gets to really enjoy it. You have to ask the people that weren't with me.
All right, we'll do. And for Rob, do you almost wish that Aljamain Sterling leaves the division just because it'll create chaos, shake up, right? Like more opportunities. I mean, automatically you would need two guys to fight for the belt, right? Do you see that? Do you almost wish that he does move on to 145 just so, things
Yeah, I
can shaken up a
mean,
bit?
yeah, I mean, I think it helps out like him. Obviously, the situation with him and Marab makes it a lot easier, a lot smoother. But like also he's breaking records. He's doing things at 35. I don't know how tough the cut is for him, but if it's in his mind already, and he's talking about before this fight, I gotta automatically assume like he's feeling that cut, and he really almost needs to move up to 45. And he seems like a smart dude, so it's like, like, and then again, like, I'm pretty sure obviously he doesn't want to fight his teammates, so it helps him out as well. So it's like it's almost a good thing. So yeah, I would say it'd be pretty cool to see him move up and kind of clear out the division.
And lastly, you guys, like your team is pretty tight. You guys are really good friends. Do you almost understand what Marab and Sterling are going through? I know probably you guys haven't gone through a similar situation, but sometimes they get hate, like, hey man, I mean you should fight, right? It's a title. But do you understand like where they're coming from in not wanting to fight each other?
Yeah, no, I respect it. I get it. Like it's hard to like fully punch one of your teammates, brothers in the face when you're sparring. So imagine really like actually trying to put him out or submit him or whatnot. So it's I get it. Yeah, and then again, I don't think the money's gonna be enough to try to like fight a Calvin or a Tom or something like that. So I fully understand it.
Yeah, definitely understand it. A lot of people don't know, but Rob was a 45er on the local scene before he made it to UFC. I was also a 45er.
He ran from this
No
fight.
surprise he ducked me and went to
He
35
ran
in
from
the
it,
UFC.
He ran, man.
Rob, over here.
Oh, sorry.
You got eyes on Pedro versus Cheeto at all as like a next potential opponent to avenge one of those losses?
100%. Yeah, man. I'm down for any rematch, especially if I lost. But there could be a big fight for me after this. Most likely a winner of one of these fights. But like, I could see myself getting in there with obviously a Cheeto. I personally probably Cheeto more. That I took a beating on that one. Munoz kind of choked me real fast, so it's kind of like that they didn't hurt as much. But yeah, I can see it happening. I think it'd be a great fight, exciting fight. I just gotta play it out, see how it plays out, and wait my time.
And then Calvin, you're kind of in a weird spot, right? Because one, you're coming back from an injury, but you had a huge dominant win, and then a controversial split loss, and then a freak injury loss. So like, where do you view your stock right now? Like, do you think you lost any stock in the rankings at all, or are you going to be right where you left off?
Yeah, more shit I don't care about, right? But It is a weird situation, right? I'm coming off I feel like 0-2 when really I feel like I'm 3-0. So I feel like it's a dangerous mindset for me to come back, and I always appreciate the mentality after a loss and the position I'm in with my back against the wall. I always perform at my best, so I appreciate that opportunity, but definitely a little frustrating the way it works out, definitely pay-wise, right? That sucks, but definitely got a lot to prove to myself more than anybody when I come back that those two were some bullshit, and I have the opportunity to go and make things right when I step back in there next.
And this one's for both of you. You will care about this question. Connor Matthews making his Dana White Contender Series debut in October. What are your thoughts on him joining the New England Cartel ranks UFC?
Man, he looked great in his fight at the Encore. We had last March. He showed out. Dana comes into town, he steps in, and he watches your fight, and you either show up or you show out. And he showed out, man. Main event, came out with a scally cap on, true Boston style, and came out and put a dominant performance on. Beat the #1 fighter in Idaho. Was beating him on the feet, took him down or dropped him, and then submitted him. Really impressive. I thought he did a great job under the pressure, and well deserving of the next opportunity in the Contender Series, and we're rooting for him. But yeah, he's definitely got that dog in him, and you saw that in his last contender fight. And hopefully, second time's a charming, goes out and does his thing.
Over here, Calvin. First of all, I wish you a quick recovery, and we wish to see you back in the octagon ASAP. I'm sure everybody feels the same way. And for you, Rob, you fought both Pedro and Cheeto, so can I get your opinion on how do you think the fight is going to develop this Saturday, and who do you see winning and why?
So Pedro's I'm expecting a lot of calf kicks, straight punches. He'll mix it in a little bit. Obviously Cheeto's gonna be switching. He usually starts off pretty slow. I don't know if he fixed that or not, but I think he's gonna absorb a lot of shots to kind of download and read Pedro for the first round, and then I think the second round is going to be probably the most exciting round. We got the reach advantage from Cheeto. Munoz, I gotta assume, has the grappling advantage, but he's doesn't use it. Often. He doesn't necessarily take people down and try to grind it out. Yeah, this is a fun fight. This is an exciting fight. It's one of those 50-50 kind of fights too. I believe they're both tough. They're both veterans. They've been around. They fought everybody. If I had to pick, man, I think Pedro might squeak this one out. I believe Pedro might squeak this one out, but it's tough, man. It's one of those fights that it's a pick 'em for me.
Thank you.
Just a few predictions for some upcoming fights for you both. Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland. How do you think that's going to go down?
I'm rocking with the champ, man. He's too smooth. He's too clean. I actually I was in the back room with him in Miami, and I don't think I've ever met a more confident person. He was he owned that room. The ref came out to him. Remember that story he tells about, hey ref, let me have my moment. I watched that, and it was just it was funny. My fiance was bro, he's telling them what to do. He's telling the staff, everybody came in. He came in, he puts his music on, and it's just, which is pretty cool. It kind of helped out too, because he was jamming, and it was just he knew, and I picked against him in that fight too. And I instantly felt bad, and I was oh man, because I knew the way the look in his eye, the confidence, the swag, and it was nobody's beating that guy right now. And I quickly switched my opinion right then. I'm as I'm walking, and then he's clapping it up for me to walk out too. And I kind of felt bad. I'm man, I kind of picked against you, but yeah, no, I don't. If anything, honestly, he almost calmed me down. I felt better at just being around him, feeling that aura. But yeah, no, I don't see Strickland. I think it's gonna be fun, entertaining. He's gonna bring it. I think the pre-fight is probably gonna be the most entertaining part of that whole fight. They're gonna go at it, but I think Izzy does what he wants.
Yeah, I'm more excited about the pre-fight press conferences myself. But tough to go against the champ, but Strickland will hopefully keep it fun and exciting fight. But yeah, I'm not big on predictions, man, but it's tough to go against the champ.
And just last one, Islam and Charles, too.
I want to go with Charles, man.
I
I'm going
wanna-
Charles. I want to go with Charles so bad. Islam's so dominant. You know, he's so good at that one thing, and especially the way he made it look the last time. But then you look at Charles's, like, obviously history and how he went from here to here, and it's like you don't want to count him out. You know, hopefully he learned a little bit from that Volk fight. You know, but man, he's tough, man. But I'm gonna go with Charles on this one.
Yeah, it's tough to go against Charles, man. You know, you can't help but want to root for the guy. I respect the career he's had. Just fought everybody to get to where he's at and earn his opportunities. And my mother loves him. She's always asking me to take pictures when I'm around him. I'm like, I feel like I don't ask anybody for pictures, man. I gotta ask pictures from Charles from my mom, and then I gotta translate it. Like the whole thing's weird.
I think
But
she got one though. She
I got
picked
one.
over
Yeah, I
there.
did
She
it.
got
I
one.
did it. Of course I did it. Yeah, he's inspirational. I love how he shows respect to the corners too. You know, just a great guy. Nothing against Islam. He seems like a nice guy too, but I like a good underdog story.
Axe throwing.
You gotta say it. Shit. I can't understand your question half the time you said axe throwing. Definitely not you, man. You stuck like
Yo.
take it easy on you, but
Nah, I would say Tyson. I would say Tyson.
thanks.
You guys.